brain damage ever since the day I was born. Drugs what they used to say I was on. Said I never knew which way I was going, but everywhere I go, they keep playing my song. Waiting for my baby daughter Haley. I was harassed daily by this fat kid named D'Angelo. Nah.
Alrighty, let's do this.
What's up, everybody? So many shows, so many shows.com, so many mashups. This is Mike. This is Pete. We are reviewing Super Bowl dud Patriots versus Seahawks. Mike, what's up?
Not too much. Yes, it was kind of a boring start to the game. It kind of got interesting there in the fourth quarter for a fraction of a
Nah,
second,
fuck
but
that. I was never interested, my friend. Scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate that for a Super Bowl football game? How do you rate the whole thing overall?
oh, the
The
whole
next
thing
day you
overall.
wake up, wow, that was a Super Bowl. The Patriots lost to the Seahawks.
Okay,
I
so
enjoyed this. I didn't.
overall, I give
Yes.
it a 4.
Agreed. We're at 3 or 4. It was boring. Don't tell me defensive battles. I've seen a lot more better defensive games.
Yep.
Drake May was exposed. He played like shit. He looked like shit. There's a theory going around that the Patriots have been playing backup quarterbacks and teams that had the easiest schedule in football, or something like that this year, and that Drake
Yeah.
May was going up against corn puff defense,
Yep.
cocoa puff defenses and so on. I can't say he's wrong because twice he went up against the Jets. Yeah, no, Drake May just missed his throws. He was under pressure a lot. The difference in the game was that Sam Darnold didn't miss a couple of those throws. So let's get this straight. And I agree with this. First of all, the running back was the MVP, Kenneth Walker, 161 yards from scrimmage. The story of the game was we cannot stop this running back.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold did not play like, oh, this guy's the man, deserves a big contract. This wasn't a Joe Burrow performance. It wasn't a Patrick Mahomes performance. This wasn't a Josh Allen performance.
Yep.
The difference with Sam Darnold and Drake May was when Drake May got rushed and released the football, he threw the ball like shit.
Yep.
When Sam Darnold got rushed and threw the football, he took the hit, but he made the checkdowns.
Yes.
It was a game of checkdowns. He threw a lot of little passes, and they relied on Kenneth Walker to really run the game for them. At the end of the game in the fourth quarter, Kenneth Walker scored a touchdown, which would have hit my box
Okay.
and would have hit the over in the game. Now, from what I understand, most people in the country had Seattle in the over for whatever reason, even though I thought it was going to be an under because of the defensive battle.
Yep.
But that touchdown was called back. That
Yeah.
callback cost 68% of the country that had the over money.
Oh, man.
So when you start to look at the penalty and you wonder, was it because they wanted to not make the over? Was it because they wanted to be able to give the Patriots a chance down by 2 touchdowns with 4 minutes left to make a move? Because they did have a chance at one point, because I believe it was like 12-0, right? And they had the ball.
Yeah.
And then what did it go, 19-0, was it?
Yeah, 19-0 or 19-7, something like that.
Well, at one point it was either 12-7 or 19-7, right? I think it was 19-7.
Yep.
And the Patriots got the ball back. It was a good punt. They had the ball back like inside their own 3-yard line. And there was a play where the tight end was wide open, where if you just put the ball in the right spot, I mean, listen, he'll probably get caught by the cornerback because it's a tight end, but he would have got the ball down to the 30, the 20, and then you could have made it a 19-10 game or a 19-14 game. It would have changed the whole dynamic of the game. However, it was overthrown.
Yep.
There was a lot of pressure. He missed it. They punted. I don't know if you saw the clip. There was like a pregame warm-up, and Vrabel was coming out of the locker room, and he looked disgusted and was shaking his head in a negative way. So I don't know if that was, they never told a story about that, but I don't know if that was because something happened with his team. Maybe his team was having a fight or calling each other out on something. Or a lot of times these coaches, they'll go to the referee before the game and say, listen, if you see an illegal formation, can you just give my guy the heads up? If you see that my guy's offsides, can you just kind of, tell him to go? And a lot of times you'll see that happen in the NFL where a receiver lines up, looks at the referee goes like this, and he goes back.
Yep.
Not every referee does that. So now in my head, logically, I thought he probably asked for some sort of courtesy from the referee about something. And the referee probably said, no, there's a Super Bowl, I'm not doing it.
Oh.
So he was disgusted with that and shaking his head. That's just my theory. It's just a guess.
I didn't see the clip, but I'll look for it at some point.
Yeah, so Kenneth Walker ends up being the MVP. He got the second most scrimmage yards in Super Bowl history without scoring a touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
I had like $7 in prop bets, different prop bets, like $1 each from DraftKings, and I lost all of them. I needed to know. It was so weird because I needed a Cooper Cup touchdown for to hit $12 on that $1 parlay because I had Cooper Cup 6 receptions receptions, 60 yards, and then like another one I had 50 yards by this guy, 50 yards by this guy, and I needed like the Leonard Williams to have a sack.
Yeah.
What's funny about that is Leonard Williams had the sack at the end of the game, and they called it a offsides penalty on somebody else.
Oh,
So I
jeez.
lost. So like, yeah, I got screwed. Like they called the run. Like it was just not cool, man. It was cold. I had a shovel yesterday morning. On top of it, I come home like, all right, you know what? I'm doing everything right. Got my boxes, got my meal. Let's go. Blah 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 blah. But it didn't work out very well. I didn't hit nothing. I lost money. The Patriots lost, which was the only good thing about everything that the Patriots didn't win because
Yep.
fuck the Patriots. But Donald, like I said, didn't play like it wasn't. I don't know. It was just like a. I mean, like it was two good defenses playing, yes, but it wasn't like a defensive battle.
Yeah.
It was weird. Just a shitty football game. I'm sorry. Like
Yep.
I
The
like football,
Seahawks.
and maybe because they gave us so much incredible matchups during the season. Like we've seen some amazing things this season in football, some amazing games on the
Yep.
regular season. A couple good, really good playoff games that went down to the wire, some overtime, and then here comes your Super Bowl, and there's two teams that I would say aren't exactly the most popular.
No, not really, but
And then on top of that, well, we also said we talked about it. If I tell you to name me three players on the Patriots before the Super Bowl and before and the Seahawks before the Super Bowl started, you would have trouble doing it. I
oh
mean,
yeah.
besides like I said, besides Darnold, Nakua, and Cup.
Yep.
Who else can you really think of? Myers, the kicker, because you know about you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
the running
exactly.
back, like who else is on there? And then you go think about the Patriots, it's similar. And like I said, that Drake May wasn't the MVP, and there was a lot of controversy about why Matthew Stafford got the MVP and Drake May didn't. I think we learned
Mhm.
today why, because I believe if the Rams were playing the Patriots in that Super Bowl, Matthew Stafford would have had 4 touchdowns and like 400 yards against that defense.
Yeah. Yeah, the Seahawks did what they could. They moved the ball enough to get the field goals by the end of their drives, but even Darnold didn't look that great. I think his completion percentage was pretty low, but I mean, he made the plays when he needed to, but
Yes, but you're right. At some
yeah.
point, his numbers were like 6 for 18 for like 160 yards, and I'm like, it's the third quarter of the Super Bowl. You're up 12, and they kicked a lot of field goals.
Yes, a lot of field goals. Yep.
So like, it's one of those things where, it's a sloppy game. They took the points, they played defense, and hats off, to the Patriots all season for doing their thing. And I got to tell you, you know who the real MVP of that game was? And I agree with the announcers, Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah, he did a great job shutting down the receivers
It wasn't
he was
even
on.
Puka because Puka went out and he was on Cup and everybody he did, and he just had play after play after play after play after play to the point where they even said it on the announcers even said it. They said if it wasn't for the play of Christian Gonzalez, the Seahawks would have had 30 something points and would have won that game
Oh
by a
yeah.
lot. They would have smashed them.
Yeah, and at
He's
one point, Jackson Smith and Jigba even went out for concussion protocol
yes.
check, and then he came back in. But yeah, even then, I mean, he was all over those receivers.
Yeah, no, it pretty much became one of those things where they had to commit
Hmm.
all their guys on the line to the stop and the run because they couldn't stop Kenneth Walker when they ran a zone,
Yep.
which leads you to a man coverage. When you have man coverage, if you don't have a Darrell Revis back there, or Aaron Glenn or somebody really electrical, to shut you down, real lockdown cornerback, so to speak,
Hmm.
you're going to get demolished with
Yeah.
one-on-one coverage, especially with the likes of Puka. Let's put it this way: the Seahawks wide receiver isn't just some weird wide receiver from any team. We're
Hmm.
not just throwing out a wide receiver out there. This was the offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
JSN. I don't want to try to pronounce his name again like last
Yeah.
time because that didn't work out very well for me. But JSN, Offensive Player of the Year, had a subpar game because of Christian Gonzalez, and a lot of that game, about 75% of that game, they were in man coverage. They couldn't stop the run.
Hmm.
So he was amazing. He was incredible. The real story is that they have a Hall of Famer, first ballot, maybe the greatest cornerback of all time in their midst. And
Yep.
unfortunately, he's on the Patriots,
Yeah.
but he's really good for a really long time. So I don't want to take that away from him. Hunter Henry disappointed me. I had him for like 4 catches. I don't even think he got the 4 catches. He was supposed to be a big part of this game. I mean, it was a simple formula if you think about it. Throw the ball to your tight ends, take one shot deep here or there, run the football, play defense. It was that
Yep.
simple. That was the formula. And I think that the difference in the game probably at the end of the day was that when what was that, I guess it was considered an interception, ran back to the house.
Yes.
Yeah, when May lost the
Yep.
football and they
Yep.
called it first a strip sack touchdown, but then it was changed to an interception.
Yeah, because it didn't hit the ground. Yep.
Yeah, interception pick six or whatever. That was at that point you knew the game was over. So, but there was a point in the game where they were down 15 and had the ball and looked like, hey, if this team really has something, with their quarterback, like I feel like if that was the Joe Burrow Bengals, we would have been looking at a 2-point conversion to tie the game at the end, then would have missed it and lost by but because it was Drake May. And now don't get me wrong, I've been back and forth with this guy all season. I pointed him out in week 3 saying, watch out for this guy. He looks like he's good. People talking like he's good. I said I don't believe it. I didn't believe it to the playoffs. I thought he had good playoff games. I started looking back at some of those playoff games. I mean, the Denver game was horrendous.
Yeah, yes, it was
So,
not good
so
for that one.
yeah, I feel like Seattle just watched the Denver tape. Like if the Patriots never played Denver in that game, the Patriots might have won that Super Bowl.
Yep.
But there was tape on how to stop them because Denver's defense is that good. I knew the formula.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where we were at. Like I said, at least the Patriots didn't win, so that was the only good thing about the Super Bowl. Other than that, I feel like it was kind of a snooze fest. I didn't really pay attention to commercials, but one commercial did catch my fancy, and it's probably the same one that caught everybody's fancy. The Goodwill Dunkin'
Yes.
with
Goodwill
all the
Dunking.
celebrities, yeah, and then
Yes.
like Ted Danson shows up at the end.
Yep. That commercial was hilarious. I there was a few that caught my eye, but the Duncan one really stood out to me. So,
Now,
and
was
the
that a
half,
Dunkin' Donuts commercial?
yes, Goodwill
That's a lot of
Duncan.
money. That was
Yes,
a lot
that's a
of money to
lot of
make
money.
that commercial because there was a lot of famous people in that commercial.
Yeah, it was funny though. Very well done. I liked it.
So in my household, we kept it simple with the immediate family, watched the game. We had, wings, not like any special wings. We like bought them from the store and made them ourselves, some
Yep.
spicy wings. We got, some pigs in the blanket, some of these mini rice balls, pizza rolls, stuff like
Oh,
that. I picked up a bucket of chicken from KFC.
oh, nice.
We threw into the mix just to have, little fried chicken.
Yep.
It was a good deal. What do you guys have going on over there?
Well, wings as well. I buy the like 6 pack at Costco with the party wings. So I put those in the oven for 45 minutes to an hour to cook those. I made up pulled pork and chili the night before. So that way, shred up the pork for the pulled pork. And then we had marinated meatballs and then bacon wrapped cocktail smokies, which my wife makes. So yeah, a lot of finger foods and
Yeah,
good.
we had some bacon wrap thing. I mean, we bought them and heated them up in the oven, but it was some weird. I don't know what was inside of it, but it was delicious. A little spicy, but it was delicious. So it might be the
Oh,
same thing you
okay.
had. I don't know.
Maybe.
And then what else did we do? I'm trying to think.
Any cake or ice cream? You do a dessert at all or?
We didn't know. We didn't really do a dessert. Kind of just kept stuck with the food. Like I said, the food was delicious. I also whenever there's a special occasion, holidays or Super Bowl, I get the Stewart's orange soda, orange creamsicle soda thing.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I got a 4 pack of that. That's like, I don't really drink like that. So, that's like oh, I'm gonna have a drink, like
Yeah.
something different to celebrate, but I don't like drinking it too much because then it kills me.
Yeah, so we did a cake. I got that at Hy-Vee. So they had the Super Bowl logos and the border around it. Then it got a couple of so I always do so I had the food ready by 3:30, 4 o'clock, so an hour and a half before kickoff. So people can snack on whatever until halftime, and then I do the cake and ice cream at halftime because some people, like my friends, take off,
Yeah, but
even if it's not a boring game like it was yesterday, my buddy was going to take off anyways because he has an hour drive back home. So
so early in the day when I went to get the bucket of chicken, me and my buddy were hanging out, so we got lunch. It was a KFC fan box. So it came with 4 biscuits, like a row of potato wedges. It was like a row of biscuits with 4 of them, a row of potato wedges, 12 nuggets, 4 dipping sauces, and then it was wings, 10 wings.
oh, nice.
So yeah, we ate that. So I was just eating chicken and wings all day, pretty much at that point. So it was a good day for food. Super Bowl, like I said, was boring. I think we said something in the chat that Tracy was the closest as far as predictions were concerned.
Yeah, I think so. I think she had 21-13.
Okay.
So yeah,
So to keep
she had it further away and
to extend the football talk that we've had all season. So Matthew Stafford, like we said earlier, did win the MVP of the award this year, and he did announce in the MVP that he was coming back for another season with the Rams. We also, I don't know if you saw the post game interviews with the coaches and the offensive coordinators. What was it? Clint Kubiak is the
but
offensive coordinator for Seattle.
yeah, I heard that he got
They
the
were saying that he's going
job.
to get the Raiders job. That's why Raiders didn't hire nobody because they technically couldn't even offer him a job until after the Super Bowl was over.
Yep.
And supposedly during the post game interview, they asked him like, "Oh, are you excited for your future?" And he said, "Hell yeah, I'm excited to be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders."
Okay.
So he pretty much guaranteed that he was on to the nation that he was taking that position. So I believe that fills up all the coaching positions.
Yeah, Mike LaFleur, Matt LaFleur's brother took up the Arizona Cardinals job.
Now that's the
So
only job where I feel like you're in a lot of trouble
yeah, I agree.
because your team is not bad. You have decent players. Don't get me wrong, you're better than the Jets.
Yes.
But your quarterback situation is terrible because right now your best quarterback on the roster is Jacoby Brissett if he's not a free agent.
Yep.
Kyler Murray makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's hard for another team that's going to want to invest in Kyler Murray. It's kind of similar to like Russell Wilson. When he left, nobody wanted to invest in him like that.
No, definitely not.
Now, I did see some stupid report, which makes total sense, that the Jets were interested in possibly trading for Murray.
I didn't hear that. The Jets, you said?
Yeah,
Oh, well, you
because
you you have your kind. I mean, you're in the New York area. You kind of have your
we're going to get into this now,
Raiders.
actually, because
Yeah.
this kind of brings up our draft talk a little bit, because we all know that the Raiders now have a coach,
Yep.
have pieces in place with Brock Bowers and Austin Genti, and their first pick overall is going to be Fernando Mendoza, pending something catastrophic to his life.
Yes.
Injury, something that he can't play football, whatever, it's something that's going to impede his football playing ability.
Yep.
So therefore, that's already locked in. And I don't know if you saw the mock drafts. There's no
No, not
quarterback
yet.
for a long time. So normally it was him and then Moore, the
Okay.
guy from Oregon.
Yep.
He said he's going back to the school because he didn't want to play for the Jets.
Yes.
There's no quarterback available. So if you're the Jets, let's talk about the Jets for a second.
Alrighty.
Who's your quarterback next year? First
I,
of all, Justin Fields is no good because you benched him all season.
yep.
So I think you're going to see a situation where the Jets are going to go out and get somebody crazy like Jameis Winston for a season. Let the guy ball out, throw the ball around, and then wait, look to get a quarterback next season, because you don't have to tank to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
You have the draft picks,
Yep.
so you can easily with the draft picks you can easily trade two number ones and get yourself moved up into a spot that you need to be in.
Yeah. Or do you see him trading back in this NFL draft to try to get another first rounder next year?
So I'm looking at the mock draft now from ESPN, and they have Mendoza going first. And number two with the Jets, they have this guy, Arvell Reese, edge from Ohio State, who's really good.
Oh, okay.
So, you start thinking about that. But then you go to your third pick is the Cardinals, and they're also going with an offensive tackle from Miami. So the two teams that need quarterbacks aren't drafting the quarterback second and third in the draft,
Yeah,
which tells me
because
there isn't a good quarterback after Mendoza. So I said I can see the Jets drafting Reese. I can see them drafting the offensive tackle because we need to block whoever our quarterback is going to be. We need to block him.
yep.
But as you go down this line, and I'm slowly. Well, actually, that's interesting. They have the Giants at number 5 with Cardinal Tate from wide receiver from Ohio State. So just imagine Dart, Neighbors, Tate,
Yeah.
Scatabo. Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to scroll down to see when the next quarterback available is here. And now I'm on pick number 15. Nope. So now I'm on number 16, which is the Jets' second pick in the first round this year
Okay.
from Indianapolis because of the Sauce Gardner trade. And
Yep.
they're looking at Makai Lemon, wide receiver from USC, to go with Gary Wilson.
Okay.
They said he reminds them of Armin St. Brown. But still, you're still looking for a quarterback here. Now,
Yeah.
here we are at number 23. It's only a tight end from Oregon, and I'm still going down the list. And in the rest of the first round, there is not another quarterback.
Okay.
Go to round 2. Projected for the Jets, defensive tackle, Ohio State,
Oh,
Caden McDonald. You see where I'm going with this?
yes.
There is no quarterbacks available. So what happens for the Jets and the quarterback? Do you go out and you trade for Kyler Murray, take the cap hit, eat it, pay him, and hope that you can develop him better or use his skill set with your team for a year? Do you go out and sign a Jameis Winston to a 1-year contract or a 2-year You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of question marks there. And the Vikings are kind of in that same boat a little bit. I mean, we have McCarthy, but the jury's still out on him. He's only played 10 games in the 2 years he's been with the team.
You think to
But
yourself real quick on that note with McCarthy, oh, you know what? The Jets should just offer, 2 first-round picks for McCarthy, get a rookie quarterback, get him in there. He's supposedly good. However, you really think the Vikings are going to get rid of a quarterback 2 years in a row? Considering what happened
no.
last year when you let somebody go? Because think about
No,
it.
I don't see him getting rid of McCarthy.
Now, do you think if you would have kept Darnold and got rid of McCarthy last year, or at least put McCarthy as a backup, even though you were paying him this money and kept Darnold as a starter, do you think that would have been you guys or no? Because Seattle had a better team overall. Because Darnold played like shit in the Super Bowl. Let's get that straight.
Yes.
He just
Yeah,
didn't get sacked. He didn't get sacked and make bad throws. Like
yeah.
when he was about to get smashed, he knew to just throw the ball to the dump off or throw it away.
Yep.
So he managed the game,
Yeah.
which he did in Minnesota also, I believe.
I think the Vikings would have made the playoffs, but not make it all the way to the Super Bowl if Darnold had stayed.
So now let me ask you this question because you're a nice guy. Do you think Drake May was exposed and that he's not good and he's a game manager, or do you think he is good? He's a top 5, top 10 guy. He just had a bad matchup and a bad game, and he's still young.
Yeah, I agree with the latter on that. I think he can potentially be a top 5, top 10. I mean, look at his numbers this year. I mean, I thought of him as a top 10 regular season quarterback this year. So give him a little bit more time. It's only his second year in the league. So yeah, he got exposed. Let's see how he learns from it next year. They're going to have a harder schedule next year, so let's see how he does against some bigger competition next year, and we'll see how it goes.
My prediction is that he was exposed. He sucks. They figured out how to beat him. No one saw the Patriots coming this year.
No, definitely not.
And when you play that good all year and people underestimate you and they play down for you because they think you're worse. But when you make it to the Super Bowl, you end up having a target on your back,
Yep.
which now Seattle and New England has. I think Seattle will be able to weather that storm and get back in the playoffs next year and be able to make another run to possibly repeat. I don't think they repeat, but I think they make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't think New England makes the playoffs next year. I think too many teams set out that were good and better. That like Patrick Mahomes is coming back next year, and they're gonna have a good draft because they weren't all the way in the back. They're gonna put some stuff together. They're gonna realize they need to make some changes. There was a couple of teams that had some rough seasons that will be back next year. The Ravens will be back. The Bengals will be back. This team will be back. And my bold prediction for next year is that Joe Burrow will win the Super Bowl. I don't know what team he will be on, but he will
Oh,
win a
okay.
Super Bowl. So I don't know if that's Cincinnati. If they make a big deal, maybe somebody trades him 3 first-round picks. Maybe goes to the Jets for 4. Well, because the Jets not making the Super Bowl. Okay, hold on. Let me rephrase that. Joe Burrow will win the Super Bowl next year unless he's the New York Jets quarterback.
Okay.
Then he will not win nothing. So therefore, if the Jets trade 4 first-round picks, I don't want to hear Mike. Well, Pete said this, and now the Jets have to win. No, the Jets will never win. I'm sorry. Fortunately for me, we're not the worst franchise in history because there's 4 other teams that haven't won it yet.
Hmm.
Now, let me ask you a question. I was talking to my buddy about this. Would you rather be a Jet fan or and have one chip in 69 and have one under your belt? Or would you rather be like a Browns fan who has all this misery but has made the playoffs a bunch of time in the 80s, had good teams, had Bernie Kosar, was in the playoffs a couple of years ago with Stefanski.
Hmm.
So but has never won a chip or made it to the Super Bowl. So who would you rather be?
I'd like to have good seasons. Like you said, the Jets haven't won
So
one
you'd
since
rather be a Lion. So if you
69.
had to pick between like the Lions, the Browns, the Jaguars, the Texans, and the Jets, you would choose pretty much anybody else to have because those are the 4 teams who never made it.
Yeah.
So because they never made it, would you rather be a team that never made it and be a fan of that team and still like the Lions? You've
Yeah.
been getting 14 wins for how long now? You
Yep.
turn the page and you were good with Barry Sanders back in the day too,
Yep.
but you just never made it there, never won it.
I'd like to, I mean, the Vikings haven't made the Super Bowl since I've been alive. So 77, 78 was the last year they've
Yeah,
been
but
there.
not even that.
So,
When you look back when I was because I did one of those things where when I saw I forgot the Rams were in the Super Bowl against the Bengals
yep.
that year. So I looked back at all the Super Bowl winners and went through like a reprieve. And the Vikings are in there like 16 times out of like the first 22. They were one of the best teams in football growing up. They were the Purple People Eaters or whatever.
Yep.
But they were just an historic franchise. Like they were a winning franchise. So
Yes.
the Vikings have a winning history, just like, the lineage of like the Cowboys and the Steelers, like that goes generations to generation. Even the 49ers weren't even that good until the 90s, late 80s.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But like the Steelers, they were good every year. The Cowboys were good every year. Like if you look at the Eagles like the modern day good team
Yeah.
because it's always the Eagles Chiefs in it, like over the last 15 years or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, so that was pretty much where I'm at with that. Who do you think makes the Super Bowl next year? Let's get a quick bold prediction.
Quick, bold prediction. Well, let's see here. I'm saying, well, if Burrow's with the Bengals, I'll take your cue, and it'll be Bengals versus Seattle. Oh, wait, no, Bengals versus Rams. I'd love to see that one again. Again? Or
That is
what?
Bengals versus Rams. That's funny because you about to say San Francisco, I believe. And I'm actually going to agree with the Bengals pick. I think it's going to be the Bengals. I think they're going to get their shit together this offseason. And they're going to make a big move because if not, their coach is getting fired and the coach
Yep.
isn't bad. So, and I think it's going to be Bengals and 49ers.
No, okay,
I
cool.
think San Fran should have been in there this year if they didn't get all those injuries. And it
Yeah.
was astonishing what they did with those injuries.
Yep.
And this is a team that is like they've already made it publicly known that they're not trading Mac Jones.
Yeah.
They've been offered a number 1 pick for Mac Jones, and they said no
Oh, wow.
because they realize how important a number 1 style backup is in the NFL. Because when your quarterback goes down for 4 games, you need to win 2 of those to make the playoffs.
Hmm.
And if you have a shitty backup quarterback, you ain't winning nothing. So I think that's going to be a change. I think Miami's going to have some changes. They're going to rebuild. Definitely, I don't see Tua sticking around.
No, Tua, I don't think they're keeping Tua either.
Does Tua start next year for any NFL team?
Start during the whole season or as a starter
No, just
right at the
opening day.
beginning? Opening day? I could potentially see him being a starter opening day for a team in case there's a rookie quarterback that isn't quite up to speed or something if they draft a quarterback. So
I'm going to say Tua starts for the Browns next year.
Tua starts for the Browns.
I think something will happen. They'll end up on the Browns. Sanders will back him up. Tua will get pulled. They'll put
Mm.
Sanders in. The Browns are a mess.
Yeah.
And Kyler Murray, I do believe, starts somewhere next year. Also, I just don't know where yet. I haven't put it together, and I wouldn't be shocked if it wasn't the Colts.
Oh, okay.
Only because I just feel like you need a team that's fully established, and a lot of these teams that are fully established had their quarterback. The
Yep.
Colts are still renegotiating with Daniel Jones right now,
Oh, okay.
and I don't know if they're necessarily going to want to keep Daniel. I don't know. Do you believe in Daniel Jones? I don't.
He looked really good for the first 8 weeks and then kind of hit a wall there. So after he
Well,
got
you know
the
what the theory is
knee
there. The
injury.
theory is that people were trying to blitz him, and he kept handing the ball to Jonathan Taylor, and Jonathan Taylor was going off. And once Jonathan Taylor stopped going off because they started playing defense once they did the defense that Seattle did to New England yesterday,
Yep.
they realized that Daniel Jones is a game manager and is not a game winner. And
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying this in a bad way. There's superstars, supermen who will carry Josh Allen, and this is a perfect comparison. There's Josh Allen's and there's Sam Darnold's.
Ah, there you go.
Those are the two different quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Besides the other ones that are just shitty.
Yeah.
But those are the like good and medium quarterbacks.
Hmm.
And what we learned this season is that medium quarterbacks can win a Super Bowl with the right team and coaches around them. And just as easily, Superman quarterbacks can get knocked out of the playoffs based on some bullshit fucking timeout call
Hmm.
at any given day. So I was wrong. The Patriots did not win due to a close bullshit call. However, I was right because I lost due to a bullshit non-call, due to bullshit
Yes.
call. So I lost, Patriots lost, Seahawks won. My prediction was wrong, and that's it. We both had the Bengals. You had the Bengals, Seahawks. No, you had the Bengals, Rams, right?
Bengals Rams.
You had Bengals, Rams, and I got Bengals, 49ers. So that's about it. Anything else that you want to talk about? Oh, I thought that listen, I'm just gonna say this once. I thought that was one of the worst halftime shows I've ever seen.
I
Just
enjoyed
saying.
it. I really
I
did.
didn't. What happened for me, we'll talk about it real quick. Like when Eminem did it was my favorite.
Yep.
I like when an artist I know sings a song that I know, brings other artists into it and integrates into it, and they sing. Bad Bunny put on a fucking show yesterday. And, it's halftime of the game. I'm trying to go and have a snack. I can't watch the TV because I'm doing my halftime thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a football fan. So half the people watch the game for Bad Bunny, half the people watch the game for football. If you watch both, you're a sick maniac because how do you have time to do anything? But there was nothing to do with, listen, I thought all of his messages was amazing.
Okay.
So I'm not against any of that. This isn't a political thing or this isn't, oh, he disrespected this. No, no. It was too much for me.
Oh, okay.
We have a spectacle already. If I went to a Bad Bunny concert, if you said, "Hey Pete, let's go watch this Bad Bunny concert on YouTube or let's go to the concert ourselves and mash it up," I would go. And if you gave me that, I would be like, "This is fucking amazing. I love this. It's the best concert ever." For my Super Bowl, I don't need all that. There was just too much going on. There's too many moving pieces. Somebody got married.
Yeah. Somebody really got
So
married during the halftime show.
yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. I'm sitting there trying to figure out what the Patriots need to do to adjust how my numbers are going to hit. You know what I mean? What I would do if I was the coach. Use the bathroom. Take your phone out, respond to your texts or whatever at that point in time because you're not watching the game. So it wasn't necessarily that I didn't like Bad Bunny or I didn't like the performance. It just wasn't in the right place at the right time for me. So I
Okay.
hated it. So it
See
wasn't
that?
like a yes.
So you're coming off the gambling angle, type of thing where it's like, oh, I got this to hit.
I don't got
Yeah,
time for this fucking show. I'm trying to
exactly.
hit this
See,
fucking thing.
I don't have the gambling thing. I have cake and ice cream and music show. Why not?
You're enjoying the fucking performance. But yeah, you know
Exactly.
what I'm saying. Like I
But
said,
I'm enjoying the
wasn't,
performance,
yeah.
but I could not understand a single word he says. I don't speak Spanish. I wasn't even fluent. One of my guests here was a big bad Bunny fan, but she even said that she speaks Spanish, but she can't really speak
Uh,
it that quickly. So she's getting lost at certain points. But it was still fun. It was a fun show. I had cake and ice cream while I was watching the halftime show. It was awesome. I loved it.
I'm just like I said. Listen, I like Bad Bunny. Great actor, great musician. He's a really good guy. I mean, I've seen. I have no problems with him. His halftime show was a great spectacle, but not for a halftime of my football game.
Okay.
And some will tell you it was the most exciting part of the game because the game sucked totally too. And that could have had to do with it. You know what I mean? Maybe if I would have hit my box early and hit a lot of
Ah,
money, I would have thought differently about the
there you
halftime
go.
show. No, no. Like I said, I want, give me Bon Jovi, give me, Bruce Springsteen, give me the normal usual suspects.
See, that's just it. That's what I've been missing because the last 5, 6, 7 years, it's all been all these rap artists, and there's a few that I like that they put in, but mix it up a little bit. It can't just be rap artists every single year. Mix it up with
I guess part of the
Bon
problem
Jovi.
too is that like our our rap artist growing up was like Eminem and
Yep,
Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. So when they play, we're like, oh shit, there's the rappers.
exactly.
Bad Bunny is not our guy. We know who he
No.
is and we like his style, but he's not
Yes.
our guy. So it's like, oh, I don't know. I can't name you one Bad Bunny song.
Neither could I.
So it's like, but I could name you 35 Eminem songs and start singing,
Exactly.
Brain damage ever since the day I was born. Drugs what they used to say I was on. Said I never knew which way I was going. But everywhere I go, they keep playing my song. Waiting for my baby daughter Haley. I was harassed daily by this fat kid named D'Angelo. Nah. But you get what I'm saying. Like I knew, so when that comes out, I'm like, oh shit, like I know this song. Like, okay, cool, let me watch
Yes.
it. And whatever. But so I thought that a lot of people did enjoy Bad Bunny, that like Bad Bunny, so good for them. Like I said, it couldn't have been as bad as the fucking game. But yeah, that was the Super Bowl. We wait all
Yep.
year for that. And it's overhyped too because we wait all year for this big game expecting to have like, oh my God, a 1 second victory in overtime, with a 80-yard field goal to end the game.
Yes.
But, it doesn't always play out like that. And sometimes you get a blowout. And I believe last year's was a blowout too.
Yeah, last year was the Eagles really took it to the Chiefs. This
It
year,
was
the Seahawks
one-sided
took it
last
to the
year also.
Patriots.
So
Yeah.
you're not always gonna get the predictable. But I think we went way over our time. It's okay. It's an exception for the Super Bowl and coaching
Yes.
carousel. I think we already covered that and a couple other things. Before we leave, who do you think would be the most successful new coach?
Oh, most successful new coach. I'm hoping Stefanski with Atlanta with a decent offense that he can continue to build around and
Well, you
some
heard they're
pitching
releasing
staff.
Kirk Cousins, right?
I didn't hear that. No.
Yeah, they're gonna release Kirk Cousins, which means that it's not. And I don't think I think it's Matt Ryan call because Matt Ryan's the head of football operations there now,
Yep.
and he knows Kirk Cousins, and I believe it was one of those things like, dude, we're not gonna start you. We don't want to leave in the backup. You prove that you can be a starter in the NFL,
Yep.
and like that's one of those situations where you know what, if you're the Jets, go get Cousins for a year or two.
Yeah.
I'm okay with something like that, but he's gonna start somewhere next year.
No, definitely. Somebody will pick him up.
Yeah. So, yeah, good for Kirk Cousins reviving his career because also we don't know where Michael Penix because he's supposedly that knee supposedly has been injured 4 or 5 times and 4 times in college, 1 time in the NFL now.
Yeah.
You have 5 knee injuries in 6 years or 7 years in the same spot. You can't really run.
Yeah.
So, let's see how that plays out in the future as far as what he's going to do. But yeah, I'm going to say Harbaugh with the Giants turns it around instantly. He's ready. He's already got pieces in place there. So it's like, come on, bro. They're going to be good. He's going to, they're not going to be showboating, partying. They're not going to have those problems. When John Harbaugh talks to Abdul Carter, he's going to listen compared to,
Mhm.
Dabble.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess that's it. So many shows, so many shows.com, so many mashups. This is Mike and Pete covering Super Bowl dud. Any last words before you say goodbye?
Appreciate you guys listening to us this season and to those who have tuned in. And Pete, thanks for taking the helm on these NFL mashups. It's been fun talking NFL this season with
And
you.
for those of you who haven't tuned in and listened, we don't thank you.
Yeah,
The
what are you
opposite
waiting
of that.
for?
The opposite of thank you.
It's another U with a name or a word in front of it. But yeah, good job this season. I'm looking forward to seeing if we cover any free agency signings, but looking forward to the draft coming up here in a couple months.
Yeah, we'll give it some time. Let the dust settle. Definitely
Yep.
cover the draft, and this just thinks the draft's on a weekday because that was something I would love to cover live on
Yeah,
YouTube.
same.
But keep it posted. We can discuss that. Maybe I can use a day, take a sick day that day or something. We'll figure it out, guys. Oh, I shouldn't have said that on podcast because now if my boss happens to listen, he'll be like, "Oh, that's why I took a sick day that day. It was planned." No, I'm joking. I don't care what my boss says. If I have a sick day, I'm gonna use it. Listen, I've used 4 sick days in 4 years. I do not take sick days, so if I need a sick day, they better not say shit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So many shows, so many shows.com, so many mashups. Catch us on YouTube, and we will see you soon. Have a good season.
Talk to you on the next one, everyone. Have a great week and a great off season.
35 red, blue, said I.